In a small village in India, the night of August 14, 1947, was filled with a buzz of anticipation. The villagers had gathered around a large banyan tree, eagerly listening to a radio broadcast. Among them was a young boy named Ravi. He was just 10 years old, but his eyes shone with the excitement and curiosity of someone much older. Ravi's grandfather, a frail yet spirited man, was a freedom fighter. He had spent years participating in protests, rallies, and movements led by great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi. Tonight, he was a beacon of knowledge and experience, narrating tales of valor and sacrifice to the eager villagers. "Tonight is a historic night," grandfather said, his voice trembling with emotion. "At midnight, India will finally be free from British rule. We will be an independent nation." Ravi could hardly contain his excitement. He had heard stories of the British Raj, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and the Salt March, but tonight felt different. It was as if he was about to witness history unfold right before his eyes. As the clock inched closer to midnight, the radio crackled to life with the voice of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister. He was delivering his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. "Long years ago we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom." The villagers erupted in cheers and tears of joy. The atmosphere was electric, filled with a sense of triumph and hope. Ravi watched as his grandfather wiped away a tear, his face a mix of pride and relief. "Does this mean we're free now, Dadaji?" Ravi asked, his eyes wide with wonder. "Yes, my dear," his grandfather replied, his voice choked with emotion. "We are free. We are free to shape our own destiny, to build a nation where every individual can live with dignity and respect." As dawn broke on August 15, 1947, the village, like the rest of the country, was alive with celebrations. The Indian tricolor was hoisted for the first time, and the national anthem echoed through the air. There was a sense of unity and purpose, a feeling that despite the challenges ahead, India would rise and shine. Years passed, and Ravi grew up with the stories of India's struggle for independence deeply ingrained in his heart. He understood the value of freedom and the responsibilities that came with it. Inspired by his grandfather's tales, he dedicated his life to serving the nation, contributing in his own way to its growth and development. Every year on August 15th, Ravi would gather his children and grandchildren, just as his grandfather had done, and recount the story of that historic night. He would remind them of the sacrifices made by countless individuals and the importance of preserving and cherishing the hard-earned freedom. And so, the legacy of that night of freedom lived on, passed down from one generation to the next, a reminder of the indomitable spirit and resilience of the Indian people.
Comprehension questions. Comment your answer. Question: what event were the villagers eagerly awaiting on the night of August 14, 1947? Answer: the villagers were eagerly awaiting the announcement of India's independence from British rule at midnight. Question: who in the story was a freedom fighter, and how did he contribute to India's struggle for independence? Answer: Ravi's grandfather was a freedom fighter who participated in protests, rallies, and movements led by leaders like Mahatma Gandhi to fight for India's independence. Question: what famous speech was being broadcast on the radio, and who delivered it? Answer: The famous Tryst with Destiny speech was being broadcast on radio, delivered by Pundit Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister. Question: how did the villagers react when they heard the announcement of India's independence? Answer: the villagers erupted in cheers and tears of joy, celebrating the historic moment with a sense of triumph and hope. Question: what lesson did Ravi learn from his grandfather's stories, and how did it influence his life? Answer: Ravi learned the value of freedom and the responsibilities that come with it. Inspired by his grandfather's tales, he dedicated his life to serving the nation and contributing to its growth and development.
Now it's vocabulary time. Anticipation. The action of anticipating something. Expectation or prediction. Shackles. A pair of fetters connected together by a chain, used to fasten a prisoner's wrists or ankles together. Used metaphorically to describe restraints or oppression. Sovereign. Possessing supreme or ultimate power. Fully independent. Resilience. The capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness. Indomitable. Impossible to subdue or defeat.